we are so incredibly excited to welcome Kylie Snow, the author of the Otacian Chronicles.
Thank you for having me.
How would you describe this past year, both as a new author and also on a personal level?
Super blessed and super stressed.
Who's your favorite book couple?
Oh my god, obsessed. It's my favorite reads of all time.
What would your playlist be? What's your vibe?
This will probably be the third year in a row. That's my top listen of the years.
What can you share with us about the process for the audiobook?
I need to hear something steamy. The guy we ended up going with, I literally was giggling listening to it.
The character art is absolutely stunning.
This is our chance to get to know the woman behind the emotional devastation. Welcome to Off Script, our newest series where we, the Fantasy Femme Fatales, interview authors and other bookish personalities that we love. Our mission is to go deep, uncover details you haven't heard before, and bring you an exclusive you won't want to miss. Today, we are so incredibly excited to welcome Kylie Snow, the author of the Otacian Chronicles, aka the Lies of Lena, The Sins of Silas, and the newly released The Memories of Merrick. Kylie, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
We are beyond excited to have you here. We first discovered the Otacian Chronicles earlier this year, and like many of you, immediately became obsessed, saw it popping off on Book Talk, and had to give it a go. I know when I started The Lies of Lena, I was immediately consumed by it. I was hounding Sarah to pick it up and join me on the journey that is this series, and luckily it was also on her TBR, so it took very little convincing to get her into it, and naturally both of us became super fans with The Lies of Lena and The Sins of Silas. We have talked about it on our other podcast episodes, so if you haven't seen those, make sure you take a look. We are tried and true fangirls and cannot wait to see where this series goes.
First off, who is Kylie Snow? Sarah and I are going to try to paint a little bit of a picture of what we know about you so far, Kylie. We're going to give you a chance to correct things or add to it afterward, but we'll do our best here to set the stage. Kylie's debut, the self-published book, The Lies of Lena, released May of last year. And since then, she's released the second book, The Sins of Silas, and this October, a novella in the same series, The Memory of Merrick, which is pretty remarkable. Let's just take a moment to talk about you being a first-time author and releasing 2.5 books the same year. So very impressive, Kylie. Within this time, Kylie has also managed to gain an agent, a traditional publishing deal for the rest of the series, and get the audiobook for The Lies of Lena underway. Kylie first dreamed of being an author at 10 years old and found her inspiration for the Otacian Chronicles while she was playing video games like Folklore, The Last Airbender, and Skyrim.
Love that origin story. Speaking of video games, Kylie's first love was video games, immersing herself in fantasy and horror storylines, including Rule of Rose, Folklore, Haunting Ground, the Fire Emblem series, and of course, The Sims. Sims girlies unite. I am one of you. The creative worlds, storytelling, and emotional layers led her to start writing complex, imperfect, and super relatable characters that so many of us have completely fallen in love with. She fell in love with reading after writing the first draft of The Lies of Lena, and when she has time and isn't chasing some crazy deadline, she is a lover of fantasy and dark romance reads. Our type of girl. So excited. And I just have to say too, Kylie, look what came in the mail.
Isn't it so pretty?
So pretty. Oh my gosh, the character art is absolutely stunning. It's like making me want to read the physical copy.
Yeah, it was so exciting having the ink pages reach out because of course I always was dreaming about having a special edition one day. And it was so crazy too because the artist that did the cover is one of the first artists, like prints I got for the Akatar series. So it was like a full circle moment for me. I'm like, wow.
That is so cool. That was a super quick overview. I'm sure we missed things, but how did we do, Kylie? Is there anything that you'd like to add?
I think it sounded good.
Yay. Awesome.
Let's kick things off with some rapid fire questions. So this is our chance to get to know the woman behind the emotional devastation. So it's a cozy fall day. It literally is, by the way. You have the house to yourself and no deadlines looming. Considered a you day, a self-care day. What are you getting up to?
Like, I haven't had one of those in so long. I'm like, what would I do? Honestly, if I had the day completely to myself, I'd probably take some time to read. Or if it was like closer to nighttime, play some games. I feel like when I have stuff I have to worry about, I feel almost guilty doing those things. So definitely immersing myself in some made up world for sure.
In the same way, I feel like every single time that I have like a minute to spare that I'm not doing anything else, I'm reading. So it's been a while since I've gone into video games. Maybe I'll take a page from your book.
We're kind of in like the opposite space where like we're just reading all the time and we're making connections with people and wanting to find new authors and find new books. So you like love this thing, but then it can also kind of feel like homework sometimes. So trying to balance that is like tricky, but this time of year is like the time of year. It's like a rainy, stormy day where we are in Ontario today. It's like the perfect reading day.
It's actually so beautiful today. Like, not even that cold, surprisingly, but the trees are changing colors and stuff. So it totally felt like fall today.
Speaking of fall, we just passed Halloween. We are Halloween girlies over here. I don't know about you, Kylie. I did see a costume pop up on Instagram. Would love to hear what your Halloween looked like this year.
I took my girls trick-or-treating, so it was all about getting them dressed up, and it was so cute. My oldest was Princess Peach, and then my youngest was Princess Poppy from Trolls, so she looked so cute. Yeah, so I was just taking them trick-or-treating and stuff, and then Saturday night I went out with some girlfriends and got dressed up, so that was fun.
Nice. That's awesome. And were you a character from Baldur's Gate? Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Yes. My husband plays Baldur's Gate. He's been telling me to get into it, but
You would love it. I think you would love it. Oh my god, it's so much fun.
he always says that I remind him of like the devil character, like the red skin with that
Really?
has like the engine heart or something.
Karlak?
Yes.
Yes. Oh my gosh, she's a great character.
I know nothing about it, but he talks about it all the time. So maybe Sarah, maybe that should be our first foray together into video
I
games.
love that. Okay.
That would be the perfect first choice. Oh my gosh.
I love
Let's
it.
do it. Video game day. Is Alex calling you the devil or is this girl like hot? Like what's the vibe?
No, from what I understand, she's just like really empathetic and like wears her heart on her sleeve. So yeah, just like some idiosyncrasies there, he said.
That's cool. Very cool for like a
Yeah.
devilish character.
Right?
Yeah. So, Kylie, what has been your favorite Halloween costume?
I guess technically Shadowheart was because I did dress as her at the Renaissance Fair a couple years ago. So either that one or last year I was Baby Doll from Sucker Punch, and that's my favorite movie ever. So that felt really cool.
I love that movie too. The soundtrack is so good.
I was just listening to it today, actually.
Always want to use the Sweet Dreams version from that album on all of our social stuff. It's so fitting.
I haven't seen that. Sucker Punch.
It's from a bit ago, but it's like it has kind of like a comic book kind of feel. It's like live action, but it's like, do you remember like 300 and like some of those movies that were like they have like a texture to them?
Yes.
It's
Okay.
very artistic, I feel like. And the story in it is so complex. Like, I felt like, it was 2011, I think, when it came out, so I was kind of young, but it's one of those, like, you'll watch it the first time and you'll be like, what did that all actually mean? So I don't know. It's a really good movie.
That's cool. Add it to the TBW.
Yeah.
To be watched. I've got one of those, Lord knows. That's awesome. All right, shifting gears a little bit. Guilty pleasures. What is your favorite snack food?
Spicy chips. Either like jalapeno kettle chips or hot Cheetos or Takis, any sort. You got to keep them away from me because I'll eat the entire bag.
I feel you. I'm definitely like a hot chip girly as well. I want to say like the cilantro lime Takis that are like super hot are so good. I'm with you.
I actually predicted that you were going to say spicy Cheetos.
Really? That's funny.
I don't know why. I was just excited about this question. It's like one of those things, and you're like, I wonder what Kylie's like snacking on when she's like writing and just like hanging out. Similar vein, what's the first concert you went to?
Melanie Martinez. That was like the perfect first concert. I'm obsessed with her and her music, so it was really cool.
I don't know her. What kind of music is it?
I bet you've probably heard like trending audios from her. Her music, like her first album, is called Crybaby, so it has like, oh my gosh, how do I even explain it? It's a very unique sounding like doll vibes, if that makes sense.
I can't recognize any of her song names, but her name sounds super familiar.
She's still kind of like on the smaller scale of popularity, but she's really good.
Okay, cool. I'm going to check her out. That's like a way cooler pick than me. I'm actually very curious. Like my first band ever was O-Town. Like, do you remember O-Town?
I'm not sure what that is.
They're embarrassing. It's like an embarrassing concert to have gone to. Like in the day, they were like in the Backstreet Boys kind of like realm of things, but like they played at this super small venue in London where we are. And so anyway, I was just curious if there's going to be like a really like random band. The first band is always like, you know, people change a lot. So
It was my senior year of high school, so I was kind of older, so I could totally see it being something different if I went years prior.
Mine was Spice Girls, which like still checks out. Like that still checks out.
It's amazing.
I love that. All right, so I know we talked about Sucker Punch, but what is a movie that you rewatch over and over again, like a comfort movie?
I was gonna say Sucker Punch. Normally it's TV shows actually. So I've rewatched a million gajillion times Insatiable on Netflix, but Netflix canceled it, so I'm always left on a brutal cliffhanger with no resolution. But it's so funny and it's so good. Either that or like The Office. I love The Office.
Yeah, that's a classic. I haven't seen Insatiable. I feel like I'm getting so many recs. I'm gonna have to go away and do my homework.
It was so ridiculous when they canceled it. I literally drafted out a letter to Netflix. I was so upset. I didn't sign it though.
They always do that though. They always cancel the best shows. Like it's very rare that a good show ends on a good note that like resolves things so you can move on. It's the worst.
It makes me hesitant to like start new shows on Netflix because I'm like, are you gonna take this away?
I know.
yeah, that's
It's
how
so
I feel. I always wait because I've had that too. And like, it's like they don't know how many shows are being put on all of the streaming platforms all the time. Like, you can't keep up with it. They just have to like give it a minute. What is your favorite thing about being a mom, Kylie?
I would say seeing my kids' personalities come through because obviously when they're first born, they're just cute and quiet and stuff. But both of my girls in particular are so sassy and silly. So just seeing them, you know, grow into that has been really cool. Especially my youngest, she's 2 now, so she's now starting to have her personality come through, and it's so much fun.
Are they like you? Do you see yourself like the little things come out?
I mean, according to like my family, I was more tame than they are. They're wild cards. And my youngest, she's devious. She'll do something she's not supposed to. Like she'll snatch my phone and literally go hee 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 and like run through the house. So yeah.
Mischievous little bugger.
Yes.
What are their zodiac signs?
My oldest is Libra, and then oh my gosh, what am I forgetting? Taurus for my youngest.
Nice. Taurus is a strong sign. Okay, so current obsession as it relates to a guilty pleasure video game. What would you be playing at all hours of the night when you have your own time?
It's also been so long. I guess the last one that I played was Stardew Valley. It's just like farming. I'm like, this is so calm. I should probably be working on something, but I think that game's so cutesy.
That game is so good. My husband and I played co-op together on PC, and we live together now, but we used to play separately when we were still just like boyfriend and girlfriend. And he used to come see me after work every day and just like visit. And instead of that, I would just be like, go straight home so we can get on co-op. And we hit endgame, and I swear like 3 weeks. Like it was ridiculous. We did nothing but play Stardew Valley. And like that, it can get intense once you get to the end game. Like we actually had a spreadsheet of like what the crops would yield. Like we went pretty balls to the
And I
wall.
haven't beaten it, so I have to keep playing.
Hey, if you want my spreadsheet, it's such a good game though.
It is. It's really cool. It's cute.
Yeah, the soundtrack is so good too. Sometimes I just throw it on for like the different seasons.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. Who's your favorite book couple, like from a different author, not you?
I would say either Galentia and Mallory from Feathers So Vicious or Jude and Carden from The Cruel Prince. I love them.
Those series are both on our TBRs still. I keep hearing about Feather So Vicious like every day.
I don't even know. Like I just needed something to read, and I obviously have like a huge TBR, and I randomly was like, you know what? It's dark. It's fantasy. I went into it thinking it was like a pure like smutty read, so I was like, oh, this will be easy to get into. But it's more. It's not even like it has that many scenes. It's just the scenes it does have are very spicy. But oh my god, obsessed! It's my my favorite reads of all time. They're so good, so good. They're very dark, very very dark, but amazing. 10 out of 10, perfect.
They're like crow shifters, right? Am I right on that? Okay, so there was like a time when I added it to my list and I was like, what is this strange thing? And I didn't see a lot of people talking about it, but recently it's like really been like bubbling up, and I was watching you go through that experience and having
Oh my
people
god, I
be
cried
like,
so much.
let me know when you get to this chapter, and I was like, okay, this has my attention.
Yeah, I personally I thought it was fantastic. Like So good.
It sounds very up Kara's alley.
Yeah, I actually just got, because I'm obsessed with tattoos, I just got a whole hip piece for those books because I
Wow.
love them so much. Yeah.
That's so cool. You should send us a picture. I'm like so curious.
Yeah, and I'm getting it shaded in a few weeks, so it'll look so good.
I remember when we first, even before we started the podcast, we did like a little book club when we had read Akatar, and it was just Sarah and I having some drinks. I remember you saying that you were going to start it, Sarah, and then the podcast was born and we kind of shifted gears. So maybe that's something that we read in the new year.
Yeah, I think we should. I think we should. I mean, I have a problem because like I will start 10 books at the same time. I think I've decided about myself that I maybe enjoy starting books more than I like finishing them. Like there's just so much good stuff out there right now.
I know. Yeah, it's overwhelming.
I get FOMO when people are talking about a book, and I'm like, I want to know what you're talking about.
Mhm.
No. We're trying to start a Fable book club. I don't know if you use Fable, Kylie, but we're trying to start getting people in on the same books that we read. Where are we at? Okay. So with all this spare time that you have, what is your favorite form of exercise?
I actually did just start getting back in the gym last month, so that's been really nice. I love weightlifting. I'm still not incredibly strong, but I enjoy that a lot more than cardio, so that's my go-to, I'd say.
That's cool. What would your playlist be? Like what's your vibe? That's like an off the cuff question, but I'm just so curious.
Right now, it's been either Megan Thee Stallion or Suicide Boys.
Oh my gosh, I love Suicide Boys.
I'm upset. That's gonna be. This will probably be the third year in a row. That's my top listen of the years. Yeah.
I saw them live in Detroit at St. Andrews Hall, and it was one of the best shows I've ever seen. So
That's
good.
amazing. Oh my god, I would love to go. That's amazing.
So cool. It's very rare that I meet somebody that likes Suicide Boys.
Really?
It's
They're
an
so
acquired
good.
taste, but like obsessed.
Obsessed too.
That's awesome.
What's your favorite holiday of the year, Kylie?
Definitely Christmas. I love Christmas. I love Halloween too, though. I love like the whole concept of people dressing up and stuff. But I think, and having kids too, like just getting your family together and opening presents and all the decorations and the lights.
I love Christmas too. I think Halloween always feels like it sneaks up and then it's gone so fast.
It's so fast. Yeah, I agree.
So it's like you love it and you're like awaiting it all year. But then even like I saw someone post something today that they were like, well, Halloween's over. It's basically Christmas now. And I was like, no, I'm not done yet. But I like that about Christmas, that like people are so kind of like ready as the season starts to turn to just get into like the warm and fuzzy Christmas spirit. So I love Christmas too. It just feels different. And like you get like your nostalgia and then like having like family and kids, like it feels different too.
Yeah, kids would make it a lot more fun. I always try to like go see my nieces at Christmas. And I always find too like the middle, like once Christmas has come to a close and you're like in those days between Christmas and New Year's, I feel so liminal and like dark. I'm like, "Oh my god, like I don't know how I'm going to survive January, February with like this shitty darkness." But the ride all the way to Christmas is amazing. It's just those like weird days when you don't know what day it is or what time it is.
No, January through March is hell. I hate it.
Right? I know. And like, is it viable to drink Bailey's still in my coffee or no? Like, where are we at? You know? It's a weird time for me.
Yeah. If only Christmas could be like in February. I made a comment to my husband on our honeymoon about the time change and I was like, this is a decision that was for sure made by a bunch of men. And he was like so offended and I was like, before you come at me with my this was made up by a man, you know how decisions were made when this decision was made? Like no women were like included in the room. Like of course it was the
True.
man. And I think if like women had been involved, like it might have gone better. That's all I'm saying.
A few years ago, we had a voting thing here where it almost got passed that we wouldn't do it, and then I don't even know what happened. I'm like, who prevented this from being fixed?
I thought it was going to go ahead. And then like the logistics are kind of crazy because of like the trades and like the importing and what I don't know. It sounds like man things. So I was like, I don't know, but I just want someone to figure it out, please. It makes no sense.
We just have to suffer in darkness for the rest of the year. Speaking of darkness and getting away from it, if you could go absolutely anywhere in the world tomorrow outside of the US, where would you go?
Switzerland, 100%. I feel like that's the prettiest looking place, even though I've not been there. I've always wanted to go there. So I don't even have a passport though, so I should probably do that first. But
Like, get your passport going.
I know.
I've never been to Switzerland either. It is very like whimsical vibes, like, and like Norway vibes, I think would be cool too. I haven't made it out there just because it is cold and I'm
Yeah.
like a warm weather kind of person, but I think like taking a train through there would be really cool.
Yeah, just like how tall the mountains are and everything. I don't know. I feel like it'd be really cool.
I saw something online after I read Akatar, and it was like a photo of this like little town, and it was basically like Valaris exists, and it's like in that part of the world. And I was like, oh, can I go? Like, I would like to do like a Christmas wintry trip to somewhere like that. Like,
Yeah.
it's just going to be cold here anyway, then I might as well go see a beautiful place. And it feels super Christmassy. Like,
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
okay, let's talk books. So, what is on your must read books list for yourself? It can be like one book, even, but like if you were like your heart was in it and you wanted to commit to any books next year, what's on the list?
Well, I started and I want to finish Nocticadia, so I just have not had the time. So definitely that one. But I also want to read Quicksilver because everyone's talked about Quicksilver, and I'm like, I need to know what's going on. And then I just have a big TBR of so many different indie authors I really want to read. So there's so many books. That's another goal of mine. Once this draft is done, I'm going to take some time to actually read these things.
There are so many books. Like, that's, you can get a little like immobilized by the decision fatigue of like them being everywhere all the time. I would recommend, I did an immersive read of Quicksilver. People like love the audiobook, and there's like a reason. The guy's voice is like spot on. So I did the audio and Kindle at the same time, and it was really fun. And like I could read it a little faster. You almost feel like you have a movie in your head, like the closest that you could get to that, because it's just like all there.
Yeah, I've never actually listened fully to an audiobook. I've heard clips and that makes me want to read something, but yeah, I've heard like amazing things about that audiobook.
Mm-hmm.
It's a banger. I loved it. I basically jumped in right after Akatar. I was like, I'm in a slump. What am I doing? And jumped right in. And it scratched the itch for sure. Definitely not as like epic in scale. Maybe let's give it till Brimstone when we read that. Maybe it'll like ramp it up, but ooh, the smut and like it's so good. I'm obsessed with Kingfisher. He's like top tier for me. That was our rapid fire questions. So now I feel like I know you a little bit better. Would love to talk a little bit about life over the last year and a half. Feels like a lot has changed and you've published a lot of books. We have been watching your success grow and got a little glimpse into some of the ups and downs throughout the last year. With The Memories of Merrick out and The Secrets of Enid drafted, how would you describe this past year, both as a new author and also on a personal level?
I would say a mixture of super blessed and super stressed. It has been wild. The start of this year was kind of right when the book started to get visibility on TikTok and stuff. And that's also, I've shared before, when I got really, really sick. And so that kind of set me back a bit because I had goals to get the third book done a lot quicker. So I was kind of out of commission for a few months during all this amazing stuff, and I'm like dying in bed. But it's been wild. And then, it was April when I started, because I haven't made the video yet talking about the whole traditional publishing thing, but that was when I first started to get audiobook interest from companies. And then very shortly after, I had publishers reaching out. So it was definitely a stressful time. So grateful, but also afraid of making the wrong choice and stuff. So it's been wild. It's unbelievable, truly.
Yeah, 100%. It's interesting to hear. I mean, naturally, we only see what happens, on social media throughout what you share. We only see the releases and not really the emotional ride that comes with them. And I can imagine like being picked up so early on in your career and like having all of these decisions to make when you weren't ready is probably like, what the fuck? It's a lot. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah, and I also was reaching out to fellow indie authors that I knew that had gotten deals or were kind of on that path too. And, some people were like, oh, sell your audio rights, but don't do it with an agent because, you obviously share commission with your agent. Or some were like, no, don't sell them because if you want to get a trad deal, it's better to not sell it. So I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? So it worked out. But yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, I can only imagine what those decisions would look like. But I think any decision that you decide to make is the right decision for you. So, you can only prepare so much and just kind of go along, ride the wave, go along with the flow. So I could imagine with being an author and being creative as a full-time job that that it's probably really difficult when you aren't feeling your best. So can you share with us a little bit about how you've navigated this new profession while also navigating some of the ups and downs that we just talked about?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is like giving myself grace if I'm one, feeling sick, or two, like not creative in that moment. I'm saying that as I'm struggling right now with the creativity part of it. It's hard, especially when you have the deadlines in there, to like force yourself to sit down. But I love the writing part. I think I get in my head about like, is this good enough, or things like that. So I think just, you know, giving yourself grace and just forcing anything on the paper, and then it'll eventually figure itself out.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think too, like creativity sometimes comes from unexpected places, right? And like even just some of your characters being so like nuanced and chaotic in those ups and downs and maybe like lulls, maybe creativity will come when you least expect it.
I'll be like laying in bed about to fall asleep, and I'm like, no, I'm thinking of something good. I have to go on my notes app or things like that. So I have my set hours that I write, or like, I have my kids watch and I go to write, and sometimes I have more inspiration at night, or, different times. So it's hard to sit down and like force it sometimes. So
Totally.
Yeah, that can be the thing with creativity too, is like you want to do it, but you have to kind of let go sometimes. And it's the letting go that lets that part of your brain work again. So you've shared that this story was created in your head in 2017. Did you always know that it was going to be a multi-book series, or was it just the Lies of Lena story in your head at first?
honestly had no idea. I'm definitely very much a pantser writer, so the main thing that I knew, like the first scene that came to my head was Lena and Silas and Ames, like seeing each other 5 years later. I love that concept of like, young lovers getting torn apart, and then I knew I wanted him to be married. I'm like, that would just suck to be Lena. So that was like the very first scene. And so over the years, I'd write little things, mostly part two of Lies of Lena, and then little parts of part one. And then once I was finally ready to sit down and do it, I had plot points that came forward for like Sins of Silas, like the Chamber of Time thing. I knew I wanted to have that. But like even the Secrets of Enid, none of that was originally what I thought about at all. It's changed so much as I've been writing it. So yeah.
That's so interesting. Like, it's really interesting to hear you talk about how the bits and pieces came together, and like even hearing you talk about the parts that were there at the beginning as the reader. It's really cool thinking like, oh wow, like I would have thought that just came later as part of the evolution. That's really cool.
I think I would drive myself nuts not knowing like the end of a story. I would be like, oh my God, like how is this going to end? It's like crazy to think that you might not even have it all figured out. It's like crazy.
Well, see, and it's like I know how I want the books to end, each of them, but like all the in between part, I'm like, how are we gonna get to that point? I'm like, I'll figure it out
Yeah.
as we go. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you answered this question a little bit, but I'm going to ask, how has the series evolved since its early conception to where you are now, being so close to submitting the draft for the Secrets of Enid?
It has changed so much. I mean, one of the biggest things when I started writing it was Roland and Torin were not characters. They were not one of my original ones. And now I'm like, this series, like, it would be completely different without them. They changed everything. So yeah, like even those core characters changed once I started going into like the Secrets of Enid. How it takes a turn is a lot different than I was expecting. So yeah, it's just finding out along the way what's going to happen. I wish I could be one of those writers that like plots out and also writes from start to finish. I don't do that. I write it all out of order.
I actually think, for what little I know about writing, I only know my reading experience. And I think what it does is it allows you to give a very real experience to the reader, because you're moving through the story with the characters as opposed to having a decision about something and needing to get there. And I think that's one of the reasons why people really connect with these books, because they just feel very genuine and authentic, and the characters, you're feeling what they're feeling with them. I've read books where I don't feel that way, Kylie.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that. Not that you felt it with other books, but with mine. That's
Carrie Lake is also a pantser. When we interviewed her, we discovered that, and she's one of our all-time favorite authors too. And I think like she is like a very character driven, like there's a lot of trauma and depth to her characters. So it does shine through. And I think with all the books that we've read this year, I agree with you, Sarah. It's not always the case.
Now, for those of you that don't know, Kylie's in the process of getting the Lies of Lena audiobook produced, which is so exciting. We're very curious. So, what can you share with us about the process for the audiobook? And like, how has the first time going through this process been like? What has it felt like? What's been most exciting? Any surprises? That kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I would say just once getting with the publisher, of course, it's been pretty straightforward. I met with like the person that handles producing them and stuff, and I gave like my Dreamcast type things of the people that I liked and stuff. And once they got samples, I listened to the samples, which was fun, and they asked which was my favorite, and so I picked out of those. I don't know when they're going to announce who's voicing it and stuff, but hopefully people are happy.
I'm so curious.
Are you enjoying the process?
I am, yeah. I mean, I will say, like, for my male narrators, all the names that I gave, none of them were available, so it was a little scary at first, I think people are more picky about the guy narrator than the girl usually. And so I'm like, I'm like listening to them and I'm like, okay. And so they sent in samples of just like, I think Silas's first POV chapter in the Lies of Lena. And I'm like, okay, I need to hear something steamy. I need to hear that's what I need to know if he can do this. And so the guy we ended up going with, I literally was giggling listening to it. So I'm like, okay, this is the one we're going to go with. So
That's a good feeling. If it fits for you, if it feels like the right thing, I'm sure people will like it.
yes, no, definitely. And even at my agency, my agent was having, because the girls at the agency are reading it. So everyone was listening. They're like, oh yeah, that guy. So I'm like, okay, I feel good about it.
Yeah, the spicy scenes can be make or break for me in audiobook for sure. Like sometimes it just takes me right out of it. I love that you went straight for the spicy scene. You were like, can you handle the heat?
Exactly.
So, will you dive right into the sins of Silas after Lena is done, or will you get a bit of a break, or how does that work?
For the audiobook?
Yeah.
I think it'll probably just be like the same actors type thing. So I think because with the trad re-releases, that's when the audiobooks come out. So I'm guessing they'll kind of just jump into it. I had to record a like audio thing of me pronouncing the different things. So I might maybe have to do a second one if some of the names are added into the second one. But other than that, I'm kind of just like along for the ride. They pretty much handle everything.
Well, that's nice. You've got enough on your plate, Kylie.
Yeah, truly.
Yes, let's get the secrets of Enid going. I can't
I
wait.
know.
We're thirsty. Okay, on a more sad note, at least for me, creative people can sometimes be their own toughest critics. I know for myself, I tend to gloss over a lot of the really awesome moments and just be like, cool. And then for the shitty moments, I ruminate on those. I'm curious, how do you try to make space to really pause and take it all in, celebrate your achievements when you hit these really amazing milestones?
Gosh, I relate to that so much. I feel like anytime, even just with like finishing writing a book, it's almost like off the checklist, like, oh, I feel relief. And it's like, okay, on to the next thing. What you focus on is, the most important things. There's obviously a lot of negative parts about being an author and stuff. And so I think you have to put your attention where it matters the most. Like, at least in my experience, I'm very lucky that majority of the feedback and stuff that I get is so positive. And I think that's what makes hearing harder things or just harder parts of the career hit a bit more because you don't hear it as much or you're not around it as much. I try to always be grateful and focus on how many amazing things have come with this career and being able to do something I love so much. So it's definitely just a mindset thing, but it's also very human to get down on yourself or compare yourself to others or think you're not productive enough. So it's all about your mindset.
I've been the worst for this, and I've like hit so many goals, and I'm like, oh, I haven't really like taken any of these in throughout my life. So I always try to like think back to like that young Kara and be like, how proud would she be of where I am now? Like she would have been dreaming to get to the person that I am today. It's still a journey. Like I still am just like, on to the next goal. Like we got to do the next thing.
Talking it out is so helpful. I do become a perfectionist with things. It's like a blessing and a curse to have that type of mindset, I feel like.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It makes it harder to celebrate your wins because you still feel like you could do better. I can relate to these things too. I feel like I've had to be very conscious in like the recent years of my life to like figure out how to celebrate little wins, even if it's just to myself or to acknowledge them. I think that's like, to me, it's been really big is like pay attention because the things that you're trying to work toward aren't always the things that are even the things you need to celebrate. There's a lot of small wins along the way that are just showing growth and experiences that you never thought you could have. Like we pinch ourselves all the time that we were just like these two crazy girls that were like, we love these books. What if we just talked about them? And then we have opportunities like this. We have each other. We can remind each other, look what we accomplished this week, or look what all the positive things that are coming to us too. It can be overwhelming, it can be like hard to receive. But I think it's so important. It's like, that's what you do it for, right? Is to feel all the good feelings.
Oh my gosh. I just had like a flashback to our first episode that we did. It was so bad, Kylie. It was so bad. I barely even remember doing the video, Sarah, but I remember us like watching it back for the first time and both of our faces just dropped and we died laughing because it was that bad. And look at us now.
It's one of those things, it's like I feel like a lot of people prevent themselves from starting things they want to because they want to be perfect at it right away. Like even with me with my TikTok videos, I look back at the first ones and I'm like, oh my god, that looks really terrible. Or even writing a book, you know, you want it to be so perfect, but it's like you just kind of have to do it and you'll get better as you go. But if you keep waiting, like it'll never happen then.
If you compare yourself to what you think your potential is, or the people in your sphere that you appreciate, like that, it's not how it works, and that's not the value you offer either. So I do feel very grateful that Kara and I have each other. Like, I think we do this creative thing that we love, but we can be a mirror to each other and show each other these things. But I definitely commend you, because being a creative independently like you are, like there's a lot of unique challenges that come with that, and you're doing, like, you started this all on your own. Like, I just really have a lot of respect for that.
Totally. Let's talk about the series that brought us all together. Let's do a little bit of a deep dive into the Otacian Chronicles. So it is rare that we get to hear an author actually describe the series themselves rather than just the individual books. So can you describe the Otacian Chronicles, what they're about at their core?
Yeah, so I would say the main message of it is empathy and showing grace, especially with how all the characters are, one, so different, but all have their own problems and messiness. Obviously, of course, I love the fantasy aspect and the romance and all of that, but I feel like having the characters have things that so many people struggle with, it makes it so not only you relate to them, but it's inspiring in a way, seeing how they deal with their traumas or their struggles. So I feel like, yeah, they're very character driven, and it's so much about the characters that's probably like the main aspect of it.
I love that. That's such a beautiful way to frame it. I think that readers and all of our listeners will love to hear it in your words, and you can really tell how much intention that was put into building this world and developing these characters. Like, by far one of the best character driven series that I've read. So hats off to you for being able to give them so much nuance.
Thank you.
I love hearing you describe it as a character story, and I totally see that. But I also love that there's so much that goes on. Like, there are a lot of character stories that are really simply about life, which has its own merit and value and experience to it. But you really like folded both like an action-packed story together, but at the heart of it, something that is really about these people. And you continue to surprise us in every book. And I love that. Like, I love being surprised. So keep it coming.
That makes me so happy. Yeah, I feel like, of course, like you said, there's like contemporary romance books or things like that that are very much just about the characters, and those can be so fun and beautiful too. But I do feel like that fantasy aspect and like, you know, using symbolism with fantasy like makes it hit harder sometimes. Like, at least with my story, like what I wanted to do with it anyway is how they unlock their magic and stuff tied to their emotions. I feel like you can use that to, like, you know, tell those things better, if that makes sense.
Like a metaphor there for like what you go through in life and how that changes you as a person. Let's talk kind of in the same vein. What are some of the important themes you've written into the series that you hope readers will take away when they've finished it?
Definitely the empathy again, forgiveness. Those are like the big two. It's so easy to point your fingers at these characters sometimes, or even, spoiler alert, like with Era, how many people are like, you know, like so angry at her, which totally I want them to feel angry at her at first. Or even her with the first book, you know, like it almost represents how I felt about her when I first started writing her. Just this, how dare she take this man away from our girl Lena? Like, you know what I mean? Starting these characters off feeling a certain way for them and watching how your opinions of them grow, I feel like yeah, you have grace for these characters, or you forgive them for the things they do, or even if you wouldn't make the choice they make, you're like, oh my gosh, I got into their head and I can empathize with why they did what they did.
There's some real gotcha moments in this series, Kylie, like where we're like going down a track and you're like, yeah, I'm mad at her. And then you're like, gotcha. She's actually got a heart of gold. So I love that experience.
The only way to write empathetic characters and like characters with such multi-layered dimensions to them is to have empathy yourself too. So like it's very clear that you have that empathy if you're able to like see it from all of those different sides and, you know, approach things with an open mind.
Yeah, I hope I do. I try to.
Yeah. Now, for any listeners who haven't read your books yet, what would you want them to know about the series?
Because the core purpose of it is like, I want readers to feel things, very emotionally driven. Obviously, these are my first few books, so I feel like, you know, depending on the type of reader, some people want more of like a classic literature experience, and that's not what my books are. So I think going into it with wanting to feel, that is, if you want to feel something reading, I would say that these are good books for that.
100% agree. Yes. And like you have your own style. Like I think people who want to appreciate a character driven and emotionally charged story, like part of, I think, being a reader with an open mind is just like no author is going to be the same. Understanding that you have your own tone, which we love, and your style. And it's a very fun reading experience, like unput downable books. Like I just have to say.
Yes. I'm pretty sure Sarah and I absolutely devoured the memories of Merrick in like a ridiculous amount of time. Like it was ridiculous.
I really do try to just write them how I'm seeing them in my head, more of like, you know, that fast-paced like movie type of experience. So I hope it comes across that way for people.
It does. Now, we know throughout your series, a lot of characters have surprised us along the way, but which character for you was the most surprising to write? Maybe someone who didn't turn out the way that you originally planned or evolved, and why was it surprising to you?
Definitely Roland, 100% Roland. Just because, like I mentioned earlier, he wasn't an original character for me. Once I started writing the Lies of Lena seriously, I'm like, okay, I need a guy character to make Silas jealous. That is what I need. So that is what he started as. And then I don't even know what happened. I just started writing him, and all of these just quirks about him started to like come out of nowhere, and just this really fun personality. And the ginger snap thing, I have no idea where that came from, but he's just a wild card. And like also his love story, once it gets told, is like my favorite.
I loved Roland from start to finish. I was like, this man is a little shit. Like he's gonna get under everybody's skin, and it's always my favorite thing to hear, like when a character kind of takes the wheel and, you know, not only surprises us, but also surprises you as the author. That's like truly cool. And I feel like I'm starting to see the budding. I have some predictions. So I am like so excited for his love story. I couldn't even tell you.
I'm so excited. That's like what I'm most excited for you guys to read, is to just that banter starting. Oh my God, it's my favorite. It's so fun.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to be kicking and screaming. I know it. Okay, so we have talked about this a little bit, but your books are full of this multi-layered emotional nuance and explore themes like grief, healing, love, shame. So what draws you to write stories that live in these emotional extremes?
Honestly, I feel like that's so much of my own lived-in experience that like I feel like taking those things out, at least for me, just feels like one, unrealistic and unrelatable. Like if something is too perfect or if the characters are too normal, I guess. Going back to like what the main themes of it are, you know, empathy, forgiveness and stuff, I feel like you kind of have to talk about those real life things or give your characters those traits to, you know, portray that.
Yeah, it's a super powerful way to look at it. Like it's almost like you're giving readers a safe space to feel in those different like extremes, like things that might be considered as shameful in your own experience, you're seeing on the page in like a different way. At least that's how I've related to it.
Yeah, no, I hope that's how people relate to it too. Just so many different things that I've experienced. Obviously, there's a plenty that I haven't, or different versions of things that I've experienced. But like even with that first book, like shame around sexuality sexuality and stuff. I had so many people message me about just like that young love story, how like one, either they had a young love experience and they felt like they were reliving it, or people that grew up feeling very shamed and they were like, wow, I wish I had a mom like Lena's mom that didn't make me feel XYZ. I feel like it makes it to a more meaningful journey for me as an author, like getting messages like that and stuff.
Lena is the strongest, most emotionally intelligent and compassionate female main character we've ever read. Like, truly, she's just like such an easy character to like, and watching her grow and evolve is so enjoyable as a woman, as a female reader, because just like exhibits all of these traits that you really hope to find in a story. So, what inspired you to create a female character like her?
That's actually funny because, again, back in 2017, or even like previous stories that I'd write for fun, I always felt like my female main characters were just sweet and nice and quiet and like girl next door type vibes. Like, I guess I was almost like fearful to make them imperfect or something. I don't know. Like, they were just always very similar personalities. I started writing it and I just felt like, again, that's just not very relatable because who's like that 100% of the time? Nobody. And so, especially writing her from when she's 16 and then up until she's a woman, I really just tried to put in like my own experience or like feelings that I felt at the different ages she was at, and just make it fully real, I guess. So I wanted to give her traits that are seen as imperfect, but a lot of us have those traits because we're humans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. I mean, we see Lena grow. I think that, like, as a reader, that's such a cool experience, even in a short period of time. Like, we get these age gaps and experiences she's going through. I feel like a lot of the time you get these like big character arcs. Those are stories that I really hold dear, but they might take thousands of pages, where you're very naturally seeing like Lena's gone through something and I can feel her shift and change through that or grow. Like, she's learning something today by having to lead people when she's never done that before and she doesn't feel like she knows how. So I think the fact that you really leaned into this like honest reality of like human nature is what's very powerful, because I think like when we were talking about shame and those sorts of things, I think that occurs in books too. I think there's like a hesitancy to like go there and like put that on the page. You have to be vulnerable and the reader has to be vulnerable with you to share that experience. And so that's how I've felt, is like, oh, she's gonna go there.
That's what I hope to put across or whatever with the books, and like being vulnerable is like the most important thing with my writing. Yeah, one with those experiences and like emotions that I've felt before, but even with spice scenes you have to be vulnerable about what you're writing in there and stuff. So it's definitely scary. Like, it was, the first book was scary, the one I just published was terrifying, but I feel like it makes it so much more worthwhile to not only me but like to the readers.
Absolutely.
Totally. Yeah. I think to your point, Sarah, you said this earlier. Sometimes characters can feel so one dimensional. You can kind of tell when an author isn't putting their heart into that specific aspect of the book. But I feel like I can really relate to like that character development side. The ability to be vulnerable is like a really big part of that. Allowing that to happen through your characters, it makes the world of a difference.
I feel like that with the vulnerability thing, and two, a lot of the times, not that I'm a perfect author or anything, like, I'm not trying to say that at all, but I do feel like sometimes in things I've read, the side characters, you can tell they're not very developed, or they're just existing for that main character, and then I feel like I don't attach to them or connect to them, and I love connecting to the characters. That's my favorite part. So sometimes you can kind of feel if something's being held back or hasn't been fully focused on.
Yeah. It's definitely a strength of yours.
Yeah, and the side characters piece. I mean, I don't know who the side characters are. I don't think there are any.
I know they're all main.
We love that though. That's like, it's worth attaching to them because they all have their own space. When you're writing scenes where there is maybe loss or even like love or spice or deeper, more vulnerable emotions going on, how do you protect your own mental and emotional energy through that writing process?
So much of it is like lived experience that it can be hard sometimes, because writing the sad stuff, I know I'm gonna probably cry and stuff or get emotional, but I actually find that it's more therapeutic writing these types of scenes than it's like hard on me. It's almost like processing my own stuff and putting it on paper. I think I have to, of course, be in the right mindset for it. It's not as hard on me as it is like a good thing. I will say writing some of the stuff for Era in Memories of Merrick was hard for me. That last flashback chapter, like I felt like sick writing that. So that was a very extreme chapter. That is not like my lived in experience. But sometimes like with things like that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a breather.
I mean, that's comforting to hear that it is like allows you to move through feelings. Cause I could imagine that feeling really heavy, or like, you hear actors even talk about like the method acting space and just being immersed in like a character or a story. And
Just like that, honestly.
is it?
Yeah, it's very, because anytime I'm writing any of them, I have to like fully be thinking like them. And of course, I am using my own experiences through it. So I didn't even think about it like that until you just said that, but it's very much like that. It can make it difficult though, bouncing in between writing different characters, because I'm like, okay, maybe Silas would say that, or Roland would say that, or whatnot. But yeah, that's a perfect way to put it, actually.
Well, then you go from that creative space into your regular life. I could see that being hard to flip between the world that you're writing and your real life world where you're you.
Yeah, I feel like I daydream so much. At this point, I am used to like switching in between because I've just daydreamed for so long. I feel like all these characters are all have little pieces of me in them, so I don't know. I haven't noticed that, but now I'm going to be thinking about it.
The emotional damage that we've had to suffer, I can only imagine what the author herself has to go through.
It can be intense.
Your characters, they carry a lot of pain from their past, but throughout the story, it really never defines them as a character. So, what do you hope that readers will feel or reflect on about healing after finishing one of your books?
It can feel very tempting if you go through hard things in life to let it define you, or trigger you into making bad choices or believing certain things about yourself. And so I hope when I'm writing these scenes and these topics and you see the characters, not let it be all who they are and use it to their advantage, that it'll inspire them in that way. Because that's just been my own experience too, like going through hard things, that it's so tempting or possible to just be a totally different way because of all the things that's happened to you. It's hard using things like that for strength, but it's like, what's the alternative? You know what I mean? So I hope it's inspiring in that way, seeing the characters, come out better or as good as they can despite what's happened to them.
I love that. Even like the traumas I've been through, I'm like, I think that just, it was horrifying, but like it built a lot
Character
of
development.
character. Yeah. And I think it like brings the right people into my life, the right opportunities. Does it define me? No. But yeah, I think your characters are really good at like mirroring that human experience as it relates to some of these traumas and pains that they've gone through. And instead of defining them, it becomes part of their story, and makes them stronger for it in the end. So I really like that.
Just in general in life, if you do let those things define you, it's going to hold you back even more than the thing that happened to you already is trying to.
You have shared whispers of little side stories and series, and we are thirsty for the info. We know you've got some other writing projects percolating, and you are excited to write about them. So what can you tell us without, spoilers that you haven't shared yet?
I'm trying to think. So definitely that prequel series. I feel like that will most likely be the next thing that I publish aside from this series, just because I've written the most of it. It's like dark, gender bent Little Mermaid / Swan Princess, very lightly inspired by that. So it's of course between a mage woman and a sea nymph male. And so I've had to do a lot of research on dolphins. So a lot of it takes place underwater. So it's been just a totally different type of atmosphere, even though it's still in that same universe as those characters. So that one will be fun. And then everything else is still so much in like the earlier stages of development. I do have like a almost like paranormal, also witchy type of more modern dark romantasy that I'm really excited about. And then the spin-off for the Otacian Chronicles, but that can't happen until all the books are out. So that's going to be a long time, but yeah.
Oh my gosh, we love a tease. That sounds absolutely incredible. I would love to read a dark romance, like a fully dark romance by Kylie Snow.
I want to do that so bad, or even like a contemporary, but I definitely do want to do a dark romance. It's just, I almost find that I'm writing it and then I gear towards fantasy. It's like harder to do something in my mind that's more unique if it's in the modern day world. So I feel like once the unique idea comes to me, I'll be able to do it. It just hasn't come yet.
Got to get all the fantasy out of your system.
Exactly.
I think if like I had the power, I would want to create a whole world too.
It's so fun.
How do you think your next series will differ? And what do you think it will have in common with the Otacian Chronicles? So it could be either of those two series you just talked about.
Yeah, I mean, just with the first one taking place in the world, it'll of course have those similarities or like, the different species or whatever that are around. But one topic I really want to focus on in the prequel is like female friendships and like friendship trauma, because that's something I've experienced a lot in life. And I already like earlier this year was starting to put some of that into that book. Of course, it's still romantasy and it focuses on the romance, but kind of focusing on that for that female main character. And then for the more paranormal one, I feel like that'll be more modern day. And so I don't want to spoil anything for that already.
Yeah, I'm very excited about these. You've got me really thinking like underwater sea world kinds of like whimsical things. And anyway, no rush, Kylie. We're not rushing you at all, but just like we'll be waiting.
We will be waiting.
When you get stuck for inspiration, what's something that you turn to get the creative juices flowing again? Or do you ever really have that turn off?
Oh my gosh, no, I'm even having that right now. I am finishing up that draft. The parts that I leave for the end are all the environment or like the weaving the things together. It's like I know what I'm seeing, but I'm like, it's so hard to explain it. I would say when I'm feeling like writer's block, reading a good book will get me inspired again. Like reading Feathers So Vicious, I'm so grateful I did because I was like struggling with the novella. And the second I wrote that, read that, I was like, I can get these words out now. So definitely reading something or like watching something that is inspiring. I didn't take inspiration from it, but I watched like the whole Conjuring universe while I was writing Memories of Merrick. And that kind of like helped me creatively too. So definitely taking in other people's art is a big help.
Is it the connection to a feeling that then gets the ball rolling again?
I think so. I don't even know how to put a name to it. I think it's just overall inspiring. Sometimes you get stuck in your own head or just struggling to come up with like new concepts or how to even write it down.
Do you find this end of the process where you're at, like finishing something, is that what tends to be the most challenging for you? Or is there
Yes.
another part? Yeah.
No, definitely. Because what I do is I write all my favorite parts first. So I write all the banter, all the, like, I still have spice to write. So I do have that to look forward to. But, like, I will literally put in parentheses environment or explain more later. I'm like, why did I do this to myself? And now I have to sit and do the boring parts all at once. So that's where I'm at right now. And I'm like, so every day I'm like, I can't even write cute banter because I wrote it already.
Oh, yeah. I would probably just daydream. Like, I don't know, look at the scene in your brain and like see what comes. I don't
I
know.
have to, so I'm probably sitting at Starbucks looking so creepy. Like she's just staring off into space. What's wrong with her? I'm like, I swear I'm working.
So good. All right. So, in terms of actually doing the writing, what does your process look like for getting ready to get into the emotional headspace? Is it music, journaling, candles, vibes? What does that look like? It sounds like Starbucks is also a factor.
Go to Starbucks probably every single day. So getting out of my house definitely I feel like helps because it's so tempting to just be at home and get distracted. So it's like I'm sitting here, what am I gonna really get distracted with? So yeah, changing the environment if I need to. I definitely love listening to music. That is a huge help either beforehand or during, making sure I'm listening to the right thing. And then depending on the scene, kind of like the method acting, is that what it's called? It's kind of like I have to think of those specific things in my own life to get in that headspace and then put it on the paper.
That's cool. Okay, so you said music off the cuff, but like if you had to pick like a couple artists that like you might throw on for specific books that you're writing, do you have any in mind?
I mean, when I think of this series, I just think of Bad Omens because I just like those were the songs that I was hearing right when I started writing it, and just the lyrics too just makes so much sense for this series. And then of course, like the emergence from Sleep Token, I think of Secrets of Enid because right when I was starting that, I was listening to that. But for writing, I actually listen to a lot of video game soundtracks. Like the lyrics sometimes can be distracting. So when I'm actually writing, I usually don't do anything with lyrics. It's just like what the music's making me feel type thing.
Oh, I love that. That's so cool. I saw Bad Omens at Rock the Park in London in, oh my gosh, in this summer. They were so good. It was my first time seeing them live and it rained during Dethrone. It was like their last song.
Oh my gosh.
The vibes were immaculate. So
Yeah, I saw them a couple of years ago. Like, of course, they were super talented, but oh my gosh, the crowd, they were very vicious. I had bruises on the side of my arm because I was in the pit and I was like, I was getting pushed around.
yeah, I try to
Intense.
stay in the outskirts of the pit or else I usually end up getting hurt at these shows.
I should have done that. I was like, I want to see him.
I love it. That's awesome.
I'm curious, Kylie, you typically put a playlist in the book to like set the tone for it. And so are the playlists typically songs that you've chosen that you really think go with the mood, or are they songs that have helped to inspire you to write the book?
Definitely, I'd say a mixture of both. So I'll be like listening. I listen to music like all throughout the day. So if I hear something that the lyrics are really speaking to that, like it does help inspire. Usually I'm listening to it before I get into writing though, because the lyrics at the same time. Or sometimes when I'm almost done writing, if I do hear a song and I'm like, oh my god, that fits perfectly, I will add it because I feel like it connects to it well. But most of them usually I like listen to beforehand and I'm like, that really fits. Or even when I was writing Lies of Lena, I was listening to different songs and writing different ones for like book 5, book 6, because I'm like, this makes me think of these characters already. So definitely, it'll probably be book 5, Sugar, Sleep Token. Oh my gosh.
Ooh, sometimes I wish, like, those cards, those like Hallmark cards, you can like press the button. It would be awesome to like press a button and like play the song.
That would be so cool.
On to your readers and your fan base. It sounds like you got quite a few messages. I would love to hear what one reader message or comment was that really stuck with you the most.
I actually got one a few days ago that was, oh my gosh, it like makes me want to cry thinking about it. I got a message on TikTok from a mom who read the Memories of Merrick, and she was saying how she's never read the acknowledgments in a book before, but decided to read it, and basically was saying like during the scene with Merrick finding his mom and stuff, like in the middle of it, she's like she searched like effects of suicide on children and stuff, and essentially was saying how she has been really struggling, and reading this like made her want to keep going. You know what I mean? And so things like that are so meaningful to me. Like again, back to why I want to write those intense topics is like so many people like struggle with those kinds of things. But yeah, just hearing her say like this makes me want to keep going. Like that's there's nothing more important than that.
Yeah, you can't get much better than that. And that's honestly why stories like what you've been writing matter so much. Like they really connect to people so deeply. That's so moving.
Definitely that. And then for Sins of Silas, I've had so many women that have gone through miscarriages message me just, feeling all the feels with reading, Lena's experience and stuff. And so all of that has just been so meaningful for sure.
I think that that's something that stands out about you as an author. Some of the most emotional books I've ever read have been your book. So for people who are watching that haven't dove into the Otacian Chronicles, you're in for a world of hurt, but it's worth it.
You're in for a world of humanity. That's how I feel. Is like I always tell people just like prepare to be surprised and just know that it's going to start off feeling one way and then like it's going to shift, because like that was my experience. Was I didn't know what to expect, and then as I was reading it, this isn't meaning to be negative, but it felt familiar. Like there was something that it was like, oh, this is kind of like things I've read. This is fun. I'm like super into it, and then things shift and you're like, this is really different.
That was one of the things, even with like, I'm promoting it as a dark romantasy, but like if you read part 1, you're going to be like, dark romantasy? It's totally like very sweet, and like the prince and all that stuff that is kind of things, you might have read before. The way I view it is that sweetness before makes all the dark stuff hurt so much more, because it's like you saw how innocent and hopeful these characters were when they were young, and then life is life.
Yeah, absolutely. I read somewhere, I can't remember where, but I read somewhere that you had said it will get progressively more dark throughout the series. So is that still how you're feeling about how it's going to go?
Yes, I mean, I will say Memories of Merrick was a lot darker than I was expecting it to be. I expected to put that stuff in somehow into the Secrets of Eden, and I'm like, there's no way, especially with like the symbolism in the middle that will make more sense in the Secrets of Eden. I'm like, there's just no way I can do it without it feeling rushed or taken out of the story to find out what happened during these days. So I guess it's like dark in different ways. The spiciest book for sure, at least what I see it being, is book 5. So, it'll be dark in different ways too.
So we got a lot of hurt and we got a lot of fun times ahead of us.
Exactly.
Okay, we are coming to the end here. I'm kind of sad. This has been so much fun, but we do have one question that we actually didn't put in originally. It was a last minute ad. The hardest question of all, Kylie. Fuck, marry, kill.
No!
Kara and I had to text back and forth to decide who was fair to put on the table for you. So just Don't judge us. We're working with Silas, Roland, and Merrick.
Okay. You didn't put Torin in there. Very interesting.
That was what we were texting back and forth. We were like, this is so hard.
I can't kill them. I don't want to kill any of them. But if it was like fuck, marry, friend, oh, okay, I could do that. But kill? I mean, I would say, oh Jesus. I guess I would. I guess I would fuck Roland. I mean, marry Silas, and I already killed Merrick, right? I want to marry him too.
You know what? That's a hard one.
I couldn't.
Yeah, like with a gun to my head, I would just be like, just take me instead. Like,
literally. This is too much. Yeah, if you would have put Torin in there, I probably would have put Mary Torin.
I was just like, I don't know. My view was like, Silas has like such an arc and there's just like so much to him. He does feel like a really good one to put in there. And Torin is just like so sweet. I just wanted to protect him from anything.
I know. We can't kill him. Oh my God.
I love Torin. It's so hard to choose. And that's how you know that you're good at writing characters that we care about, because that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, no. It's hard hurting all of them at times, but you know.
You got to do it for the plot, baby.
I've got to do it. Sorry.
All right. Well, this has been incredible, Kylie. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for agreeing to come on the podcast. This has been such a dream for us, truly. We have been talking about the possibility of even just like asking you to come on for literal months. So it means so much to us that you took time out of your very busy schedule to be with us.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
We're so happy. You made our life with this.
Literally. First Carrie Lake, now Kylie Snow. Like, life could not be better.
So before we wrap up, we just want to give you a chance to add anything to the conversation that we haven't covered so far. So is there anything else you wanted to say to fans or readers listening to this episode?
Well, I hope that the wait for the next one is worth it. And please don't stop reading halfway through when you get mad at me.
Okay, we've been warned. You could put like anything in there. I'm like a sucker for punishment. Are there any like news or updates you wanted to share before we sign off?
We're just a couple months away from the trad re-releases, so I feel like that's like the waiting game for that, and that will be exciting. I was given the artist for the UK edition for the cover art, so I picked that one. So I haven't seen it yet, but I am excited for that.
There's a lot of good things coming in the new year for you guys.
Yes, I'm ready for 2026. 2025 was a beautiful, amazing, crazy year, but I can't wait for 2026.
As much as we absolutely hate to say goodbye, this was so fun. That is it for this episode of Off Script. Please drop a comment and let us know what you've learned about Kylie tonight that surprised you. And of course, we are so excited to announce our next Quicklit episode airing on November 28th will be finally Echo Fort, the sequel to Neverkeep. And if you're reading this series, you're obviously as thirsty for revenge as us. And it really has felt like 300 years since we've read Neverkeep. So we are really excited for all of the revenge and the devastation. We hope you will read along with us and join us then. But until next time, we're Fantasy Femme Fatales and we're out.